Sean Trout here, Cider Blossom Orchard. It's actually a very nice afternoon today. It's upper 50s and very little wind. Just a very nice afternoon. I just got home from work and wanted to come out and take a look at the trees, because this was really a couple of days here that I've been dreading this spring, and I've said it over and over, but I thought we were just a little bit early. And I'm not sure it would have mattered with the couple of cold nights that we've had. We weren't that far ahead. I don't think that we could have protected ourselves too much. But 28 degrees 2 nights ago, and at 28 degrees, you get a little fruit thinning. That's about it. I've got my critical bud temperatures apple chart. Unfortunately, I have to pull this out every few years and just remind myself what it takes to kill apple blossoms. But you can Google this chart, it's out there. And for apple trees, full bloom, full pink, 28 degrees is about a 10% kill. Nothing we can't live with in an orchard that's just full of blossoms. They predicted about 28, 27 last night. So the lower you get, the more kill you get. And I woke up this morning, and when I looked at the phone, it showed 24 degrees just at the local airport. Now, I am not sure if we hit 24 degrees here at the house or not, just because I don't have a thermometer. It's probably a cardinal sin for an apple orchard, but I don't have a thermometer, an outdoor thermometer here at the house. I've just relied on the local airport temperature, which should be within a degree of where I'm at. But that was oddly low. Just about 20 miles south, they were 28. I would have expected we would have been 26 at the coldest, but it showed 24. I'm not sure how cold we got, but on my critical bud temperature chart, 25 degrees is a 90% kill in bloom, in pink, and then first pink's 24 degrees is a 90% kill. So anything below, anytime you get below 26 degrees, you're looking at a pretty good mess as far as apple blossoms go. There are ways to tell how you did, how you fared on a cold night, and we may get into that. It's a little bit early. I may give it a few days, but you can actually slice open some of the blossoms and just see what you got, if you got green or you got brown. We're going to take a look at a few of the blossoms. I've noticed after these couple of cold nights, the blossoms themselves have really just petered out. And then I'm going to show you a few more things out here that I do with some of the trees that I don't want to blossom. So the not setting fruit on those trees would be a blessing, but I'd rather take it off myself than have a cold night like we had last night. Take it out. You may have cold weather approaching where you're at. I'm not sure if I'll get this video up before it gets there. But not a whole lot you can do on a small backyard orchard when you have a cold night and a few rows of trees. But this will tell you where you stand. This will show you just what to expect with your trees. I'm hoping that we did not get 24 degrees here last night, and that hopefully we were in that 26, 27 degree range, which would have saved the orchard. We'll see what we got. Let's take a look. Well, here is that Liberty tree that we've been looking at awfully hard this spring. We pruned this tree on film, and we've taken a look at the blossoms on this tree. And here it is today, just a few days after what I would say was peak, and that I got on camera in the last video with the blossoms. You can see what I would say is some freeze damage, just looking at the blossoms, not even looking at the inside of the blossoms. But the outer tips are burnt, which doesn't bother me too much. They're all about ready to fall. You know, I don't worry so much about that. It's what's going on internally that we really need to worry about. But the trees themselves have obviously lost their blossom appeal. And then you can see we've had complete petal fall here. We'll be approaching some sprays here really soon. And, you know, you have complete petal fall there, and you still have blossoms over here. But what kind of damage did we do last night? Only time will tell. I can tell you that I expect we'll still have fruit. And if the temperatures did not get to 24, if we were at 26 or 27, well, that temperature might have just done some fruit thinning for me that I won't have to go back and do. But I'd rather do it myself and not just hope that frost doesn't get me. But our flowers definitely don't look as good as they did. This is the Empire tree that was just a show just a few days ago. And, you know, it's time. They've done their thing. It's time. So let's get that behind us and look at a few trees here. Okay, here I am on a couple of pink lady trees that were planted. These were purchased from Cummins Nursery. These were premium trees. And lo and behold, they are wanting to flower. They are flowering. I don't want these trees to flower. And for you beginning orchardists, when you let a small tree like this flower, or when you let it produce fruit, it can flower with little harm. But when you let it produce fruit, it will stunt the growth of that tree. These being dwarfs, stunting that growth particularly hurts them. But any tree that you're trying to reach a more mature size, well, a fruit's going to stunt it. So let the tree grow in the early years. Don't let it fruit. Running a trellis system like this is a little bit different. You can let the trees put on some fruit in the early years, but you definitely don't want to let a new planting, this is literally just put in the ground, you don't want to let this guy put on fruit. So you can come in here, rub them out, cut them out. I use these little snips here. They come in pretty handy because I don't want any apples on this tree if those buds are not toast already. So yeah, there's one back there. It's pretty intuitive what you need to do here, but go through and just cut those blossoms off. And there's another tree over here we're going to take a look at that I need to do that with. Right here we have a wine crisp apple tree going into its second leaf. I also purchased this tree for Cummins Nursery. And this tree is on a G935 rootstock. That's pretty much a semi-dwarf. And you can see right here in the second leaf, literally this tree was planted 13 months ago. And you can see it wants to make apples. Well, I don't want this tree to make apples. I want this tree to grow up. So I'm going to take these blossoms out in just the same way I did over on the pink ladies. And there is the orchard cat that every backyard orchard should have. And again, we don't want to stunt this tree's growth this year. We want this tree to grow and not produce fruit. I'm willing to give up some fruit, which would totally deform the tree if I let it produce heavily at this stage. So as much as it may pain you to do this, and I understand, particularly when you're in those early years and you have not gotten fruit, and this is maybe the second or third year and the tree's been out maybe 5 years and it's still not that big of a tree, sorry about that. Well, you're going to want it to fruit. And if you leave a piece of fruit on it, I'm not going to fault you. However, it's best for the tree to let it grow and then fruit. So that's all I'm going to do here this evening. I'm going to pick up the pieces where they may be, and we'll be all right. We've dealt with these things before. Every year in the orchard, we get those days that you're a little bit nervous those nights and wonder where it's going to be in the morning, and most years you come out. This year I think it might have gotten me. We'll see where we ended up. Thanks for watching.